jeez. Loud. God. This is Lo-Fi Lit, episode 4 with Mary Boo Anderson, and it should start pretty soon here. Just waiting for her to click in, and then we'll start the show. Mary Boo. Mary Boo. Okay. I'm gonna get stressed out. 2 minutes before the show. I got my little questions. I just don't know if people can hear me. Turn up everything. Too loud, maybe. Too loud. Too loud. Too loud? Or just right? Okay. I don't know. Too loud. Too loud. There we go. I'm just going to use that. But see, I don't know. I didn't test this out. Oh my god. Mary Boo. Okay, she. I'm not ready. Ah! Is she not going to join? What if she can't make it? Oh, shit. Hello.
Hey, how's it going?
Pretty good. That's really loud. Okay.
Sorry about that. I'll turn mine down.
No, that's all right. You're good.
Okay, cool.
I had mine up too loud.
Nice. That's cool. You got a nice mic setup, huh?
Yeah, thank you. But I'm using like Google Meet, so I don't know if the quality is still like comes in after the recording, but it's still pretty good.
That's awesome.
So I was looking through your tweets, and you even had like articles and like interviews where people would like talk to you like specifically about your tweets, and it seemed like around when COVID hit, you stopped tweeting as much.
Yeah. That is very astute. I don't tweet that much at all. I used to be very online. I feel like I'm a retired Twitter person. Yeah, I don't know. I think I definitely tweeted a lot because I was super depressed and anxious, and it was kind of a way to cope, and just like, it gave my mind something to do, to kind of form like a stupid joke or say something kind of quippy or whatever. And now I feel generally healthier and happier with myself, and I guess I don't need that as much, which is kind of nice. But yeah, also kind of a bummer in other ways, I suppose, like the Twitter thing.
So do you think moving to LA also, did you want to stop tweeting as much? You wanted to be more like offline?
Good question. Yeah, I never really thought of it that way, but yeah, I'm sure I got even less online moving to LA for sure. Yeah.
So you were born in Florida.
Mm-hmm.
Did you always want to be creative?
I think so. That's a great question. Oh, I love that question. Yeah, I think so. I think I've always found the most joy in being creative somehow, some way.
How did it like spur out? Like, were you like creative in like second grade? Did you write stories when you were like in high school and stuff?
Yeah, that's such a fun question. I used to always just do stuff wherever I was. Like, for example, my mom, she was really into shopping when I was a little kid, and I didn't really like that, being a 5-year-old or whatever. I was always bored. So I'd always make up games with my brother, for example. Like, we would like, yeah, I don't know if I said this somewhere. But yeah, we would like knock the mannequins off the pedestal and like perform little routines together.
You guys are like troublemakers, man.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. we would decide to like reorganize things. Yeah, we would perform for the other kids around. We would try to scare people. Yeah, kind of stuff like that. Like I remember like, painting and selling rocks.
Oh wow, you're a capitalist.
Yeah, I know. Baby capitalists. Yeah, definitely baby capitalists. Yeah.
So you and your brother seem really, really close.
Yeah, for sure. He's definitely like one of my best friends. I feel so lucky to have him. Yeah, I
And
talked to you earlier. Yeah.
I
Go ahead.
heard somewhere in one of your pieces that your mom named you Mary and Joseph, you and your brother, after like Bible stuff. Did was your family always very like Christian and very religious? Or maybe you're Catholic, I don't know.
Yeah, I grew up Catholic. I don't
Okay.
know. Yeah, we brought up the Mary and Joseph thing to our parents, and they didn't really think it through, I think, too. Like, I think, like, they sort of like the biblical figures, but I guess, like, also family names. So I was like, guys, you gotta see this. Like, it's crazy.
And where does the boo come from?
It's a good question.
Thank you for complimenting all my questions.
Yeah, sorry. I guess.
No, you're very nice.
Nice. Yeah, it's fun to think about. Yeah, where did it come from? Oh, freshman year of college. I guess I was like apparently very, very kind and sweet, but also pretty creepy. And so someone.
You were creepy? How?
I don't know. Like, I guess like I'm very observant of other people, so I'd remember things that people don't remember they do. Or like I was very, very good at like stalking people online. Like if anyone like had a run-in with like a cute flirtatious person, like, but I didn't get their name or their number, like people would like kind of send them my way and I would like find the person.
Oh wow. So you should be like a private investigator.
I actually did have a job interview with a PI.
Wait, what? Really? When?
I did. This was many years ago, maybe 2015.
Awesome.
And it was quite funny. I figured I could get the interview if I found the main PIs, the boss PIs, like private email addresses, and then send my resume and cover letter to them to impress them. And I got the interview, and at the interview, they gave me a real client to look up.
Wow.
They like gave me a file, and they're like, okay, they put me in a cubicle with a computer, and they gave me an hour to find as much info as I could on the person. And so I did. And then afterwards, we talked about it a little bit, and they're like, I don't know, you said X, Y about this person. We didn't find that to be true. And I showed it to them, and they're like, oh, okay, like, I guess that's true.
So they didn't even have all the information on the person that they were trying to give you. What the fuck?
Yeah. I feel like I should have been compensated for that hour. Yeah. Yeah.
So you deal, in a lot of your art, you deal with offices and work. And it seems like even with the, maybe this doesn't fit in, but with the French fry, you take normal stuff and you try to make it unfamiliar. You blow up objects, and even there was a artist thing where you took an office and you minimized it and you made it into like miniature, like artist stuff. As always, what interests you about like blowing up objects or making them small?
Okay, I'll stop with compliment. These
no,
are really
you can compliment me.
Yeah. I love these. These are excellent questions. Wow, I mean it genuinely. I'm like, wow, these are really good. I love scale. I think scale is like a really great way to amplify or subvert. It's funny you bring that up because I've been on the back burner of my mind. I've really wanted to create a giant coffee mug, a giant ceramic coffee mug that says like world's best boss. And I want to have a regular size coffee mug that says the same thing and spend my whole day filling it with coffee.
Wait, you're gonna make a giant mug and then every day pour coffee into the giant mug. And then are you gonna like record yourself doing it?
Yeah.
Totally do that. Where do you get the materials to like do something like that?
Good question. I think ideally I would like to do it out of ceramic because the regular mug is ceramic, but I don't know if I'm competent enough in clay to make something that large a scale. So I was thinking about how to hack around it, whether do like foam or try to do plastic or something. I know it's
How'd you make the fry?
So the fries I didn't actually make. I used to go a lot on free Craigslist. And they were supposed to be on free Craigslist. I was like, oh, isn't that funny? These giant fries. And I sent the link to my brother and he's like, I'm on my way to pick them up. So like, okay.
How many were there?
There's 2. So I have this one and I have that one.
Oh my God.
And isn't that the perfect nook for that fry? Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, it is. That's awesome. How did you lift yourself up and pin yourself to the wall and get the fry to stay in your picture where you have a leaning fry leaning into you?
It was a lot of trial and error. I have a lot of photos of my brother and I. We both tried it. We had like helmets on because we were like kind of concerned about it. I had some bricks trying to like push up the fry and stuff. It was a lot of trial and error.
So
Yeah,
what was it? How heavy is that fry? Are they
yeah,
like really light?
they are very light. So it is sort of a magic trick how it worked out. They're very light. Yeah.
You know what reminded me of that picture? It like there's a picture like in Russia of like these girls from like the 1800s or something, and they're all like floating like against the wall, and their hair like going down, and it looks really creepy. They look like ghosts
That
or
sounds so
something.
cool.
It is. It's I'll send it to you after, but it's really creepy.
I like that. Yeah, please
So
send it.
you said when you were tweeting and you used to tweet a lot, you were depressed. Do you think creativity comes from depression?
Sometimes like a certain kind of creativity, I think, like a certain kind of self-deprecating creativity. I've been thinking about that recently because I want to write more poems again, and I haven't written poems in a while. And
I mean, you got in defense though.
what?
You got in defense.
That's true. I know. I feel really proud about that. That's pretty crazy. Yeah, I'm like, wow, my little poem was in this very cool magazine.
I mean,
Yeah.
how long ago was that though? I mean,
That was
I just saw it, but like you said, you wanted to start writing poetry again. So, do you think like maybe after a few months you feel like you're not a poet or something if you stop writing?
sort of, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you feel guilty.
Yeah. I just feel like I have this like image that other poets are just writing poems the other day, and meanwhile I'll like write a poem every couple months, if that, and I just, is it
I
a
think
question?
that's
Probably not, but
I feel like that's most people though.
okay, makes me feel better.
Yeah, I know Carmen. She like works on something and then she'll stop working on it and then she'll go on and like work on something else.
That makes a lot of
How
sense.
how did
She's
you how do you know her? Did you all ever meet?
Yeah, I did meet her, which was so cool. I got to meet her at Catch Fest, that poetry festival at Catch's house in Denver several years ago.
Is that Cash?
Oh, do they go by Cash now?
I have no idea. I don't know who that person
Oh,
is.
their name was Catch Business for a long time, and I think maybe they go by Catch Breath now.
Was that like in New York or something?
They lived in Denver. They're a person. They're a poet.
Oh,
Yeah, they run like Witchcraft Mag too.
was this like 5 or 7 years ago?
Yes, yeah. It
Was
was.
El Nash there?
Yeah, I think El Nash might have come to one.
I wanted to go to that, but I had like work shit. Cause like,
Totally.
yeah, I was overnight working at a grocery store stocking groceries, and like all like my boss and like three other people got fired, and so we only had a crew of like me and this other guy.
Oh my gosh,
It was hell.
that is truly hellish to put all that work on you guys.
Yeah.
Damn.
So what different jobs have you had?
Um, a lot. I'm currently an art teacher, which I enjoy the most, I think.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah, I think that's another reason. Like, I get to help kids be creative, and that's the best.
So
Um,
you're just an art teacher, not like the teacher that like does everything all in one day.
yeah, I'm a high school art teacher, which is the best
You're high
job.
school? I thought you taught second graders.
No, I would. Oh, maybe my brother taught second graders for a little bit now, but I teach high schoolers.
Oh, like
Yeah,
ninth grade?
yeah, 9th through 12th. Yeah.
So are they like, what's that like? Do they like fight with you ever?
No, they're so fun. They're so sweet. They all love to be there. I love to be there. I get to talk with all of them. We all make art together. It's very peaceful and nice. Yeah.
You never got into a fight with a high schooler.
I've gotten into one fight,
What
and
happened?
I don't know if I should be saying this, but I don't know. He just kind of had some stuff going on, and he kept submitting like it's pretty hard to do bad in art class. Like, you know what I mean? He was kind of really trying to get my attention by doing like the worst thing possible. And I was like, hey, like this isn't up to the standard. And I was being really nice about it. And he was just kind of trying to get more of my attention. And he was just kind of trying to bully me a little. I was like, hey, I'm not gonna fight with you. You're a student.
Oh.
Yeah. So
Mm-hmm.
it was as peaceful as a fight could go, I guess. But yeah, typically I don't have many problems, which is nice. When a kid like, isn't being quiet when I need to talk or something, usually other kids are like, be quiet. Miss Anderson's trying to talk, which is very
Mm-hmm.
nice. Um, yeah, they're very sweet. Lucky
So
enough.
do you like when you're teaching high school, do you go in every day with like a different like do you create a syllabus?
Yeah, I had a syllabus. Yeah. I do kind of like shift things on the go though. Like I ask them what they want to learn and I try to, always keep it kind of lively. Like if everyone wants to learn something, I'm down to change it. Or if I went to a cool museum show and I like want to do a different thing, I can do that. So it's kind of nice to have that
So when
freedom.
you were in New York, were you applying to schools to be an art teacher? Or how did
Exactly.
this Oh, you
Yeah.
did? This is
Yeah.
something that you wanted to pursue?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah. I had a lot of other jobs that I didn't like that much. And so I
Like
wanted to
what?
do something. I have had a lot of weird jobs. I've worked in like a lot of office jobs, I guess, obviously. I've worked in tech. What
Dang.
else? I was a barista for a while. I was like a paid audience member on the Maury Povich
Wait,
show.
what?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
When was this? How do you get to be that?
It was on my college career website.
Oh my goodness.
I know, dark times.
So
Uh,
wait, explain that day? Like, let's go through that day.
okay, it's a funny time. So what they do is you wake up at probably 5 a.m. because you have to get to Times Square at 6 a.m. because they pick you up in a bus at Times Square and then they take you to I think somewhere in Connecticut, Stamford, Connecticut.
Whoa.
Yeah, they bust you out of New York into Connecticut where the Maury studio is.
How nice is the bus? Is it like bad or is it like nice?
It's like sort of like a Greyhound. So it's not like a yellow school bus, but it's like not the nicest charter bus,
Was
Um
everyone dressed real nice or just like in normal clothes?
it was such a mix. They tell you not to wear anything branded, anything too patterny, but some people wore suits, which I thought was kind of a move, and then other people more casual, kind of like, t-shirts, jeans.
So how was the show? How much did you get paid?
It's not good.
No.
No, they give you it's $50 flat rate and a slice of pizza for lunch. That's
Ew.
what you get paid, and you got to
What kind
make
of pe
if you ever
what
get this job, cheese pizza,
Oh, okay.
cheese or pepperoni. They might have had option. But it's funny though because you got to ask for cash if you ever have this job because if you don't, and they give you a check. There's like a 8 out of 10 chance it's gonna bounce. So you really got to try to ask for
Oh my
cash.
God.
Yeah, kind of a janky operation.
Yeah.
Honestly, Maury seems pretty cool. He's got a cool little golden retriever that he brought on between
Oh.
the DNA tests episodes.
Oh, nice. You got one of those.
Oh yeah, whole set. Yeah.
So was it the father? Were they the
Yeah,
father?
exactly. It's always the father. Who's the father? Yeah.
Was it the father on your episode?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you go with your friends? Or were you by yourself?
No, it was by myself. But I had a friend before who had also done it, and she told me she knew some people, and so I like, oh, I found those people, and then I told them that I knew her, and then they, they I don't know, became kind of weird. I guess it's a lot of weird people that are attracted to this job, and also when you are on this job, you can't tell anyone else because all these old ladies like are there to actually just enjoy the show. So yeah, that was a fun job.
If you had your own talk show, what would the talk show be about and what would the name be?
Oh, honestly, thinking about, I guess like it's on my brain because it's what I do and stuff. But it would be kind of cool to have like a talk show where like teens get to talk about their art process or something, or just like what they're thinking about. I don't know what the name would be, like Mary's Art Corner or something, kind of like an art vibe. Yeah.
You should do that. You should like take your iPhone and like just like record your students talking about their process.
You're right. I really should. I have like a little like school art Instagram. That'd be kind of a fun thing. I'll have to ask some of them about that. They might get a kick out of that.
Yeah.
Thanks for saying that.
Oh, no problem.
Yeah.
So you have a YouTube page and you create little movies and things like that. Do you have any going on right now or plans to do any other?
Ooh, that's a great question. I wish. I haven't really thought about movies that much, which is kind of shit because it's one of my favorite materials to work with. I really like video. I think video is so accessible in so many ways, and most people are familiar with it. But yeah, nothing quite in the works. I should think about that. Maybe that's a good thing.
How did the Quit Smart video come up? And the
Yeah,
creation of it?
that was so fun. I quit my job at the time, and I think that really led me to tweet less. I think I was just tweeting at my job a lot. I think that was a big part of it. Yeah, but I quit that job, and it was really motivated by this book slash article slash manifesto, Bullshit Jobs by David Graeber. And I really resonated with that. I was like, how come some jobs, there's a lot of downtime and they get paid a little more, and then jobs where you're constantly on, you get paid less, and thinking about who benefits from that. Yeah, and I was really lucky to do that at this really cool residency where it was teamed up with the community TV station. So I got to use all this fancy equipment, and it was fun. My brother came out and helped me with it, which was very helpful. And we like interviewed a bunch of people around town. And
oh, really?
Yeah, it was really cool.
So when you start out, when you have an idea that you want to do you sit down and you write it out first, or do you talk to someone?
I really think I do process better with idea stuff verbally sometimes. Like I like a good back and forth with someone. Yeah, I think something about writing things down sometimes can stop me, be like, oh, I have to do this. Or discussing an idea feels more fun to me. Something more playful about kind of collaborating with someone in that way, I think.
So on that one, did you talk to your brother first and you guys sit down and you figure out how you're going to put everything together? Or because you've already put videos together, you already kind of know what to do?
Yeah, with that one, yeah, he definitely helped me a bunch. I had for a couple weeks, I had really thought about it and tried filming stuff on my own, and I just wasn't getting that far with it. And then he came in and we really sat down and just discussed it together and tried to think about what we were trying to do. And he it was very collaborative. He pulled so much out of me, and I really pulled a lot out of him. And
so what does he do? Is he a creative artist?
He really is a heart. He's one of the most brilliant people I know. He is so artistic in so many ways. He was a teacher for a long time, and he's actually in law school right now, which is
in law school?
Yeah.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
Jesus, you guys are wow.
Yeah, he's crazy. Very lucky.
So back in the Peach reading,
yeah,
you said well, how did that all come together? Because if people don't know, you came in and you were the headline reader, and you surprised everyone by your phone lost its charge, or you acted like it, and then you read a poem in which the phone loses its charge, and then you went through your apartment and just pulled out little poems off a pillow out of the trash can. It was very creative. How did that all come together?
Thanks so much. I really appreciate that. I guess at that time it was I guess year 2 into the pandemic, and we're all so used to Zoom and stuff. And I was trying to think there's got to be a way to make Zoom interesting. Or what can I do in a virtual reading that I can't do in a real in a physical space reading, right? And I kept trying to think about it, and I don't know, somehow it came to thinking about how I could use a space, or wouldn't it be funny if the poem came out of nowhere, so I think I just started running with that. What if I just had the poem written on things? So yeah, that was fun.
How long did you plan that out?
Oh, I'm a big procrastinator. I came up with the idea maybe the night before or the morning of.
Oh my God, really?
Yeah, and then I had a set list of objects, so which objects I would read off when, and I had to really think about I don't know if this translated, but I was really thinking about which object is the funniest, what should I end on, kind of silly stuff like that I can get caught up in. And then I ran home after work, or not physically ran home, but I rushed home after work, and I had to physically in Sharpie write these poems on all these weird objects, because I didn't really print any of them out or anything.
So it spent your entire day of cramming this right before the reading.
Yeah.
Did you have any doubts that something wasn't going to work out as the reading was taking place? And while the reading was taking place, was that all you could think about was I have to pull this off?
A little bit. I mean, I don't know. At the same time, because it's Zoom, it also feels lower stakes, which is kind of nice. I think that was I was still a little nervous and amped up, and I do hate it was such a killer set. I was able to listen to everyone, but sometimes I do get so nervous where it's hard to listen. But yeah, I don't know. I was really just excited about it. That I was this will be fun, and even if no one laughs or thinks it's funny, I'll think I tried something, so I'll feel good about that, I guess.
Yeah, I think everyone loved it. Did you know that you were going to be the headliner? When Rochelle? Oh, you didn't?
Oh yeah, so that was kind of fun.
When did you know? When did they tell you?
I think like maybe 15 minutes before they like sent out a set list. And I was like, sounds good to me.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Wow.
All worked out. They didn't know I was going to do that either. So it all worked out.
Yeah. Did you ever think about telling Rochelle, like, hey, I'm going to do this thing?
You know, I think if I had time, I would have maybe, but I was really so close to the wire. I think I finished everything like 1 minute before. A little known fact about this thing too, like in one piece, you were there, so you saw it. Like I like go to this bed. That's not a real bed. My apartment's really weird. It like has like a weird staircase, but I was like, that's too weird to like carry like my computer up the staircase, and I'll lose time that way. And I wanted to make sure I wasn't infringing on other people's time. So like I blew up an air mattress like right behind the table and like tried to make it look like a bedroom.
Did you like go and buy an air mattress, or did you already
No,
have
I
one?
luckily had one, which was good.
Jesus. Do you have any more ideas like of doing Zoom readings? Would you ever put on your own Zoom reading?
That
And try
would
to
fun. I recently did do a workshop with Elaine Kahn, which was really fun in like June. And I have been trying to get together a reading for all the people who took that class. I think that'd be awesome. But everyone's kind of everywhere. So honestly, maybe I will try to put together a Zoom reading for that. That might make the most sense. I was trying to do a physical thing, but I think it just might be too difficult.
Why?
People are just all over. Like when they took the Zoom class, like some people are in New York. I think one person's in like New Mexico. And I think a couple people are in like Northern California. And there's like maybe 5 of us in Southern California.
Yeah. So you worked for a magazine, right? Glam Bomb, I think.
Oh yeah, I used to edit for Glitter Mob. Yeah.
Glitter Mob, yeah. Have you thought about making your own zine? Like online zine?
Yeah, I have. A couple friends have kind of been talking to me about it, and I've really been thinking about it. Yeah. I do feel like, though, to be honest, I feel like the literary magazines are a labor of love, and they are a big commitment. And yeah, they can just be really demanding because, you know, you don't want to give people like a 6-month waiting period to read their stuff, but at the same time, and like it's easy to kind of put zines on the back burner sometimes. And so I'm trying to figure out a way to make it sustainable and also responsible to people who submit, you know.
You could do like a biannual one if you just wanted to do every 6 months.
You know, that might be a good solution. Yeah. Like do something a little more casual.
What would you name it?
Ooh, that's tough. I don't know. Names are hard.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah. Do you have any good would you start a literary mag? Do you have a good title?
I've talked to Rochelle about starting one. That was a few years ago. It didn't come through, but it's called Small Town Gay Zine.
That's great. I love that. It gets the point. It's catchy. Right audience. That's cool.
But I just don't know if like anyone would submit to it, and then I don't know if like I'm the person to be telling people if a piece should become, you know, put it online or not. I don't know.
Totally.
I doubt myself.
Yeah, it's easy to have that doubt. I feel that too. It's like, who am I to be the gatekeeper of poetry? But
yeah,
it's
exactly.
like creating your own taste, I guess, you know. But that would be cool. I think you should do that. I think that'd be really cool. And if you solicit people are usually really flattered by that, you know, and usually
is that WTF on the fry? Like, is that a real WTF?
That's a good question. It's like vinyl. It's like a vinyl sticker that came on it.
Oh,
it was
okay.
Like a Burger King corporate event, I guess, or something. Yeah, weird story.
Have you ever jousted with the 2 fries?
You know, wow, that would be fun.
It would be awesome.
That's a good idea. That'd be a fun piece of video art. I'd watch that. Yeah.
You know, you could put that in your mug, in your giant mug, and stir the coffee around.
Yes, that would be hilarious. Oh my gosh.
Are you going to put sugar in the coffee? Because it might attract flies.
Oh, I'm not. I was considering black, but sugar, there might, you know, a big halo of flies like over this. All right, that could be a cool thing as well, you know.
Where's this coffee going to go? Are you going to put it like in your apartment?
I don't know. And how do I drain it too? Like, do I have to like take like a pot and try to like slowly shovel out the coffee?
Well, I guess you could break the mug at the end.
That's true. But I'd have to do it in my tub, I guess, if I break it.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. Shit.
Oh,
Maybe if you created it around a hot tub.
I like that train of thought. That would be kind of cool. Can you put just coffee in a hot tub? That like
I
have
mean,
people sit in it?
you could use food coloring and just call it coffee.
Look, I'm not above that. That sounds like a good plan. Yeah.
That'd be way easier to go.
Yeah. Just do like a big white kind of thing around a hot tub and like decorate it like a mug and then have people sit in it. That could be have people sit in it in suits or something,
And to
Or
get their suits wet.
I don't know. Maybe they just be in casual in like a regular bathing suit attire. Yeah.
I like the suits though, because suit people are gonna drink coffee.
That's true. Only suit people only. Yeah. I like this. Thanks for brainstorming this with me. I'm like, oh, no, I should find a hot tub. There's actually a hot tub. I don't know if you follow E. Taylor, but I saw that they went to this art show in LA in a museum, and there's a giant art hot tub in the museum. So hot tub art is in. So maybe I should try to hop on it.
Have you met them?
Yeah, I've met them a couple times because I lived in New York for a while, and I think they still live in New York. Yeah.
Yeah, they're from Tulsa, just like me. Yeah.
Oh, you're from Tulsa too? No way, really?
Yeah, I live in Tulsa.
Oh, wow, super cool. Yeah. There's that famous book of photography called Tulsa.
Wait, what? What's it called? Tulsa?
I think it's called Tulsa. Let me look it up.
Who is it by? What are the
By Larry
pictures?
Clark.
Oh.
That's my only that's my first thought with Tulsa. It's pretty
So when you went to school, were you going to be an artist?
That's a good question. I don't think I was sure what I was going to do. I actually applied this was kind of stupid. It's very a 17-year-old Mary way of thinking, but I applied as a different major at every school. And I was like, whatever accepts me, I'll be that major and dedicate my life to it. But I don't know. I figured, I would pursue the art because it's kind of, I could do everything that I liked in it, write, perform, visual art, learn about stuff, I guess. But yeah, I don't know what I was thinking. I never really fully pictured myself, I think, as like a famous artist. I think I just thought it was like a fun thing to study.
Do you know Chelsea Martin?
Yeah, I know of her. I went to her reading once when she released Caca Dolce. That's her, right? I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. I took one of her classes online at I forgot the site, but some expensive workshop class. But she was really cool.
That's awesome. That's really cool. She was a good teacher.
Oh yeah, she's awesome.
That's really cool.
Do you plan on going back to school, like going for like a graduate degree or something?
Good question. I always feel torn about that kind of thing. I actually do have a graduate degree in education.
Oh, you do?
Yeah. I don't list it on my website. But yeah, I have a graduate degree in art education, so I'm qualified to teach K through 12. Because a lot of schools like require you have a master's. But yeah, I don't know about like a creative MFA or anything. I don't know. I guess I always feel hesitant. I'm like, God, it's so much money to put into something where it's like I feel like I can kind of take workshops or like I have the community already. Like if I really had something I really needed, I could probably find someone to give it to. Yeah, I don't know. Seems cool. I just wish it wasn't. I think I would do it in an instant if it wasn't like $200,000.
It's $200,000.
Well, I don't know. It depends where you go, I guess. But I know a lot of grad degrees are stupid expensive. Maybe not $200K, but definitely anywhere from $75K to $200K, I would say.
Wow, $75K?
Yeah.
Jesus, dude.
I know, isn't that crazy? Yeah, like all
Just go do poetry MFA.
Yeah.
That's 20,000. So.
Oh, well, my degree wasn't 200,000. I just mean degrees in general.
They're really expensive. Yeah, have you thought about doing a poetry MFA?
A little bit. I feel like, I don't know. I have some imposter syndrome about being a poet sometimes, But I think it'd be cool to do a poetry MFA. Again, if it wasn't so expensive, I think I'd really be into it. And maybe that would help me get over that. But I probably shouldn't need that to get over that imposter syndrome anyway. But
what if you're going to be an editor for your own magazine?
That's true. It could help.
Yeah. Or not. Maybe it could make it worse.
Yeah. You only like the certain kind of poetry you're taught in school.
So have you thought about ever running your own online workshop?
Oh, that would be fun. I don't think anyone would come. Maybe if I did a free one, that'd be kind of cool. Maybe I'll try to do a free one. I
You
think I would.
should. You
Yeah,
should do a
you.
free one.
Yeah,
I would, yeah. If it's
thanks.
free.
Yeah, I would do a free one. And I think I would try to make it more arty. Like I would incorporate like weird art stuff.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
Like
Nice.
what would you include?
Things I include with my students too that I think are just like good things to like get ideas going. Like this idea of the derive. Are you familiar with that?
The what?
It's called like the derive. I'm definitely saying it wrong.
I don't
Uh,
know.
this like
Is it
famous artist.
French?
Yeah, it's French, exactly. They call the situationists. They believe that our current kind of urban landscape kind of has us locked in from going point A to point B, point A to point B in a very specific regimented way. So we're only seeing the same things every day. So they had this idea like, oh, if you go on a derive, like a long meandering walk, like in a way like you don't normally go, you'll see things you don't normally see and hopefully kind of subvert the urban landscape that in some ways is so oppressive, and then also come up with new ideas and hopefully see space differently.
That totally makes sense. I've totally thought about that before. Like
Yeah,
just going to the same things every day, day in and day out, day in and day out.
it's
And now,
crazy, right?
and
Yeah,
going for walks every day does change up how I view the world.
definitely. Oh, that's awesome. That's so good to
Yeah.
hear.
That's awesome though. That's like that's a whole movement that like artists have like come up with before.
Yeah, it's pretty sick. Yeah, sometimes they would do them together too, and
Have you
yeah.
heard of a flaneur? The
Yes,
flaneur?
yes, yes. Isn't that sort of similar? Yeah.
Yeah. It's totally people that write about like walking around and stuff.
Yeah, I
And
love that kind of stuff.
there's a whole book of essays, or not essays, but one woman, she wrote about how she did that, but she also wrote about the history of flaneurs and how it was kind of like sexist because
Really?
only men would do it, and if women tried, they like dismissed it entirely.
Oh, that's pretty cool. I'll check that out.
Yeah. Wait, here it is.
Oh, you have it? That's cool.
Right there, yeah.
Wait, that's so cool. Oh, that's so awesome. Okay, I'm definitely gonna have to pick that up. That's really
Lauren
cool.
Elkin is the writer.
Cool. I'm gonna write that down. So cool.
I noticed your website. It's very kept. Like it's updated like all the time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's very maintained. I really like that because a lot of writers they don't have a website, or if they do, they don't keep up with it very much.
Totally. Yeah, it's one of the few things I try to keep sort of organized. Like especially the CV sheet. Like if I do anything, I try to put it there, or else I'll just forget, and then it will
Hmm.
never go there. So I do do that. And I'm like, it's easy enough, and it's kind of fun. I'm like, I feel proud of myself, and easy win, you know. Yeah. Thanks for noticing.
When you write your poems, do you have like specific themes that you try to stick to?
Hmm. Yeah, I'm thinking about that. I feel like I've kind of, whenever I write a poem, I've written so many poems kind of doing the same themes that I kind of like go to that kind of naturally now. And I kind of feel stuck in that. Like themes of like, you know, being depressed or working or capitalism or kind of like self-deprecating. Um, yeah, and I don't know if that really feels authentic to who I am now. So I think,
Really?
yeah.
I think people's voices and artists they change over time. Yet there's that auteur theory or whatever. Have you heard about that? Where like
No,
people,
tell me.
oh, it's like a film thing, and like people like directors, it's like this theory that directors stick to the same familiar themes throughout their work over time, even though if their work changes.
That makes sense. Yeah, I can see that. The same themes, but different kind of vessels and stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah, for
I
sure.
liked one of your poems is like the IKEA at the end of the world, and now you're walking around and like it's like you're lying in a bed, but you didn't make it, and I felt like it felt to me like it was kind of being captive by other creative brands. Like
Mm,
something like Marvel, where they have all these movies, so they have clothes, they have comics, and they have books, and yet you're not creating anything. You're just existing within another brand, and yet you're still kind of alone, and you're not creating. It's kind of depressing.
Definitely. Oh, that's such a cool read of that. I really like that. Yeah, like the Marvel world, we're all just definitely spectators in it, and it's kind of depressing. And IKEA world as well. We all definitely live in an IKEA world. I like that read. Yeah, definitely lonely, depressing feeling. Yeah, being alone in this weird corporate world that you did not make.
And then also, I kind of took from it that being imaginative and using your imagination, it can also lead to a sort of solitude and loneliness in and of itself, even if it is gratifying.
Definitely. Yeah, that is true. I do find that sometimes. Yeah, it's definitely more gratifying than corporate like
Mhm.
loneliness. But
Yeah,
yeah,
I
that is
guess when you're
true.
creating it, it can seem lonely because you don't know if anything is going to come of it. Because like at
Totally.
the end of the poem, it's about like the princess and like feeling that pea, and maybe it didn't exist at all, maybe she doesn't exist at all.
Mm,
It
I like
kind of
that.
got dark, that poem.
Yeah. Pandemic poem, early pandemic poem. Yeah. I definitely went to IKEA right at the beginning of the pandemic before we were told not to go anywhere. It was the day I got
Mhm.
fired from my barista job.
Well, I got
And
fired
yeah, I got laid off. Yeah.
because of the
Everyone called me,
pandemic.
yeah, because of the pandemic.
Oh
And I was like,
shit!
okay, I'm gonna go to IKEA then, I guess. And yeah, I had two veggie dogs, and for some reason I thought that was kind of funny. And IKEA is just such a weird place. Whenever I go there, I feel like some artwork has to be made there. Like I've definitely tried to make videos in IKEA before. And when I was a kid, I was always like wanting my friends to do like scavenger hunts with me in IKEA. And
I've
I'm
never been to an IKEA.
really,
Yeah, my sister, she took some days off from work, and she took a trip to like Kansas just to go to an IKEA by herself.
well,
Yeah,
what was her? Did she enjoy it or was she disappointed? Like, was it?
I've not asked her, but I will. I'll get an
Yeah,
update.
follow up, Tyler. Wow, you're
So
not
you
missing much.
you grew up in Florida. Did you ever go to Disney World?
Yeah, went to Disney World. Yeah, I
How many
guess not
times?
frequently. I think probably at least once a year as a kid. It
Oh, that's awesome. What a great childhood.
was fun. It was fun. Yeah, one time though, we got stuck on the small world ride. That was
Oh
scary.
God.
Get on that one.
Yeah.
Uh, terrifying. Their heads. They started talking like sped up, and their heads started rotating.
What?
It was
That's
terrifying.
fucking scary. God. That's like
People
a
started trying to leave. They got out. They tried to get out of the boat.
and
Like
like
this.
get in the water?
Yeah, the water's only like 3 feet deep.
Oh, I
So
didn't know that.
yeah, so they were trying to look for a door and stuff, and the fire department had to come get us. It was a whole thing.
Did you ever go to Nickelodeon Studios when it was there?
Yeah, I think once. Yeah,
Oh, that's
yep.
cool.
Yeah, that was fun. Yeah, you
What's
go to
your
Disney?
favorite? Yeah, I went when I was a kid. I'd
Yeah,
love to go back,
yeah, I
but I don't
haven't
know
been.
if I ever will.
Yeah,
It'd
I
be
don't
kind
know.
of weird to go as an adult and just like by
Yeah,
myself.
yeah, totally. I've been thinking the same thing. I'm like, I guess I live close to Disneyland, but like, it's so expensive, and
Oh
it's like,
I bet it's fucking high as hell.
yeah, it's like $300. I feel like I was like, this is
Jesus.
insane.
If you had your own Disney or you had your own theme park, what would the themes be? Like the
Ooh,
different little themes of the areas.
hmm. I think there'd have to be like a weird food area. I think that would be fun. I don't know
With
what
the
the weird.
fries and the coffee.
Yeah, and like also like people can like make weird foods together. I don't know what that'd be. I'm just thinking some kind of pickles. Like I saw this TikTok of like this dessert bar where it's just pickles and you put different toppings on pickles, something like that, but
Oh my
different.
god.
Yeah, I was like, that's kind
I
of
hate
interesting.
pickles. Do you like pickles?
I am a big pickle head. Yeah, I understand people who hate it, but yeah, I do like pickles.
You and Rochelle should get
Yeah,
that going.
I
She has
love
her
that.
own like food blog and
You
then she
know,
runs
that's a really good point. I would invite her to be a consultant on my food area in my theme park. That's a good call.
the Sultan of salty foods.
Yeah. Yeah, she had a good food blog. She had some good ones. I remember like cracking up at them. I was like, hell yeah.
Have you tried being a chef?
Tried being a chef. Not really. I cook for fun sometimes, but nothing crazy elaborate.
What's your favorite thing to cook up?
Hmm. I make like a spicy like peanut noodle thing I eat like probably every couple weeks that I really like. It's like kind of a comfort meal. It's like creamy and yeah, kind of savory, spicy.
What's your favorite thing that your mom or your parents made?
That's a good question. My mom's favorite thing to cook as a kid for anyone was pot roast, but I don't know if I really liked that.
Oh,
I don't know if I really liked my parents' food that much, honestly. They made good food, but I just don't know if it was I don't know. It's a good question. I don't know. My mom's mashed potatoes, I think, is the right answer. Those are delicious and they hold up very good.
are you close to your parents?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I guess
What happened?
I mean, I talk to them. I feel like I could be closer to them though, you know? Like I love them both very much, but
Oh, okay. No fights or anything?
yeah, nothing like that. No big dramatic falling outs. But I don't know. I live far away from them. They live in Florida and stuff, and yeah, I don't know.
So when did you move away from Florida?
When I went to college in New York, so 2010, so I guess 12 years ago. Yeah.
Did you specifically want to go to New York?
I think so. I applied to like a lot of city schools, and then I like visited New York, and I was like, I think this is it. Yeah.
So you lived in New York for like 10 years.
Yeah,
Pretty
exactly.
long time. How did you like afford that?
Good question. It was always really expensive. I was really lucky. I found some really good rent deals. Like one of my friends still lives in this apartment we lived in, but for how long? 2014 to 20, maybe to 2020. For like 6 or 7 years, we lived in this one pretty cheap apartment that was like $1,800 for a 3-bedroom, and I think I paid like $650. Which is a pretty good deal for New York. I know in most other places probably still expensive, but so that was really helpful in that. I was finding that a cheap apartment.
When did you start cultivating your own community when you're like up in New York?
I think definitely through school a little bit. It's kind of built in, but cultivating my own, I definitely credit Twitter. Like being on Twitter has continued to pay dividends in my life. One of my closest, dearest friends in LA is someone I know through Twitter. Yeah, so definitely Twitter. Twitter like opened up so many opportunities for me. Yeah, and I met. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, especially if you're going to New York in 2010, that's pretty much like the rise and the height of like alt lit poetry, and then like the downfall of it. And
definitely, yeah.
you hit a trend.
Yeah, it was in the trend. Yeah.
Did you ever go to any of the Shabby Dollhouse stuff?
You know, I always wanted to. I never did go to any of that. I've seen them read. Like I've seen Sarah Jean read, and I've seen Lucy read. And maybe one of the other people who sort of runs it. But no, I've never went to like one of their events, maybe. But they seem really cool. You do their book club, right?
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
That's really cool. I'm on the listserv. I keep getting the emails. I'm like, I should do that.
You ever submit to their magazine?
You know, when I was like first applying to stuff, like they were like the dream mag for me. I was like, they're so cool. And I've never applied. No, I never submitted.
Oh, you would have made it.
Thanks.
And you would have been part of the community.
Thanks.
You can still be part of the community, though.
Yeah, I should go to that book club.
You should. They're doing
starting back up, right?
Yeah, they're doing a play in like on October 9th on a Sunday. I'm trying to remember of it. I forgot what the play was called. It's Waiting for Godot.
Oh, they're Waiting for Godot. That's awesome. I think I actually have a copy somewhere. Okay, maybe I will come into that one.
You should. Did you ever act? Did you ever like do theater when you were a kid?
You know, I feel like in some ways I should have, but I never really did. No.
You never did? You weren't like a drama kid?
No. Yeah.
But you acted later.
Sort of, like in little video art pieces, but never in anything outside of my own work kind of thing.
What's your favorite actress or actor?
Favorite actor, Bob Odenkirk. Easy, no question.
You like Better Call Saul?
I do. I'm a big Saul head. Yeah, I love Better Call Saul. One of my favorite shows.
Did you like the ending?
I think I did. You watched it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was sort of optimistic in a way. I don't know if many people agree with that, but I thought it was kind of nice. Like, it was kind of romantic. Like, he went out in style doing the monologue, and to show her is like they both he found out she did the right thing, and then he's like, okay, maybe I'll do the right thing. And
I'm glad they brought her back. I thought like maybe they weren't going to bring her back.
oh, I love her too. She's an amazing actor. I'm obsessed. Yeah, Ray Seahorn. Yeah, I'm glad they brought her back too. Yeah, they almost framed it that last episode where it's almost like a love story. Like the whole thing was like kind of a love story. You know, them leaning, smoking, like in the pilot.
Were you a big fan of the Breaking Bad?
I liked it. I liked it a lot at the time, but I personally like Better Call Saul so much more.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah.
Feels it's lasted so long. It was like over like 7 years. Like
Saul?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy, huh?
It is.
Yeah.
If you could go, I have a question. If you could go, you could use a time machine, but you can only go back for 7 seconds. Where would you go and what would you do?
Oh wow, you're giving me so many good questions to ask my students. These are tough. 7 seconds. Ooh. That's really tough. 7 seconds. What would I do? Hmm. Yeah, I don't know. Find some moment to be more brave. I feel like I'll have to think about it, but I feel like I can often act out of fear. So I feel like I'd pick a moment to do the braver thing.
You act out of fear?
I don't know. I think like, yeah, my comfort zone is a little more reserved or fearful. I'm like, I don't know about that. And so I won't do a lot of things.
Do you think that you can be more courageous in your poetry?
Yeah, definitely. And in art and yeah, in general. Yeah, poetry and art for sure. Yeah, which is pretty cool. Yeah.
When you're writing a poem and you go to that voice, if you like stop writing on the poem and then you come back to it later, is it harder to like get back into that voice?
Yeah, I think so. I do think so. I often will I'll like, if I think of a good line or I hear something funny, I'll like write in my notes app. And then like at some point I'll be like, okay, I should maybe write a poem, or I feel like writing a poem, and I'll write it all the way through, usually is my process.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then I'll edit it down from there. But yeah, I have a very hard time if I stop to try to start again. I feel like I've lost the thread. Yeah.
Do you think you're more creative when you're in New York and when you were tweeting, even though you're more depressed? Like with your poem, were you writing more poems? But I guess there hasn't been that big amount of time to compare to from New York, though.
Yeah, I feel like, yeah, I was definitely writing more poems. But I think too, like I was doing a lot of readings too, so I think I had a lot of deadlines. I was like, oh, I gotta come up with a poem for this reading.
Wait,
So,
you would write like a poem just for a reading?
yeah, that's like for a large. I don't tell people this, but
Oh,
yeah,
that's
yeah,
creative.
a large, most of like a lot of my poems have come from, oh, there's a reading coming up, I should write a poem.
And they asked you to do the reading
Yeah,
before they knew you had the poem created?
yeah. I think it was just one of those things about being on Twitter. Like people thought I had maybe more than I did, and I was like, okay, I'll accept, and then it'll force me to make something.
Wow. I didn't know that's how readings worked. I thought like people like selected you because you already had a poem
I think that
together.
too a little bit. Like maybe I had 1 or 2 poems up, and they're like, oh, we like that poem, but you can't. I feel like I couldn't only read 2 poems, you know.
So if we want you to create more poetry, we have to ask you to do readings.
I think that is it. Yeah. Yeah, because that's like a really real deadline. Like sometimes people ask me to submit to magazines and stuff, and I'm like, oh, that's magazine so cool, and I love those people, they're so cool. But then there's like not a real deadline for me sometimes, so it'll just never, or I'll forget, or like I'll just feel guilty about it, and it becomes like an unread message, you know, like in my mind.
Do you think you have ADD?
You know, I don't know, maybe. I feel like TikTok's always trying to tell me and everyone that we all have ADD, but I don't know, probably not.
Have you ever taken Adderall?
I have not. I've never taken Adderall.
Yeah, don't take it. You shouldn't.
No.
I'm prescribed it. I take it every day. I take
Nice.
2 a day and Vyvanse and 5-Hour Energy and Red Bull.
Wow.
And coffee. Yeah. And I've heart attack.
That's part of your routine. Does that help you kind of stay with your flow, your own flow?
Yeah, it's probably not very healthy, but I do have a flow. Yeah.
Yeah, whatever. It works for you. That's cool.
So we have about 7 minutes left. Are there any questions that you want me to ask you?
Hmm. That's a good question. How do you come up with all these good questions? I guess like a lot of research and stuff. You clearly have been doing a lot of research, which is a very generous act.
I tried to, but I didn't have much written down for this one, and I was freaked out that I wasn't going to be able to talk to you about anything. And so I'm very surprised that I've gotten this far into this.
Wow, I thought you had so many really good, thoughtful questions, and I really appreciate it. It's such a generous thing to interview someone, and I just want to say thank you so much. It's
Well,
really
thank
nice.
you for agreeing to this. This was awesome.
Anytime. It was really a pleasure to talk to you. Yeah, yeah, so cool. Or do you write poetry, Tyler?
Yeah, I try to, but I don't send anything out.
Why?
But I don't feel like I finish the
Hmm.
poems. I feel like they're always just unfinished. When do you
I
when do you feel like
guess.
you finished a poem?
Yeah, I don't know. I totally get that. I have some like half-baked poems where I'm like, these are, yeah, they just don't feel finished to me. So I totally get that dilemma. And then like sending them out, and if they do get published, it feels like they're set in stone, and that feels scary.
Oh, really? You feel like the ones that you've sent out and the ones that have been published, like you could
Sort of.
still work on them?
Oh, I sort of feel like they're set in stone. But at the same time, I feel like if I ever did write a book, I would definitely take some of those and tool them around a little bit if I felt like it.
So, do you have plans to come out with a book?
I feel like it's a good goal for myself to like at least do a chapbook because I've never even done a chapbook, which feels like a reasonable goal to have. Yeah, so I think I should work on that. I feel like I'd feel proud of myself if I did that.
'Cause you've been in the community for a while now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Would it be like would you make it really creative, like a pop-up book of poetry?
Ooh. Yeah, I think I would like to try to make it kind of artsy. Like I've definitely made my own zines and chaps or like
Oh, you
self-published
have?
DIY. Yeah, I guess I don't really count those for some reason. But yeah, I guess I've made like little zines that I like. Yeah.
You should put those up for sale on your website.
Nice. I don't have very many of any of them anymore. They were very limited editions.
What were
But
they? What was the theme?
yeah, the first one I made ever was called Tinder Buttons, kind of, riffing on Gertrude Stein's Tender Buttons, obviously. And it was like a collection of like very short love poems. So that was fun. The next one I made was called Out of Office Reply, and that was like a work diary type of thing. One I made recently was called Consolation Prize, and that was more like a lot of my pandemic-y poems.
You
Yeah.
made a couple then.
Yeah, I guess I like making the little ones. Yeah, but
Have you ever made one online? Like an online zine just for yourself?
I really should. That used to be such a big thing. I remember buying people's zines from the online. I don't even remember what that server was, but they were all on that one website. Do you remember?
I do not.
Yeah, but it was cool. And I know like I've always wanted to submit like an online chap to Ghost City Press. That's also been like a long goal of mine that I've never done, but that would be cool. They do the awesome micro chap series, which I think is so cool.
Do you know those people? I think it's Justin Karcher from Buffalo.
Oh, really? No.
Aiden Ryan knows them. Interviewed him last time.
I saw that. I saw you interviewed Aiden. That's so cool. I didn't realize they all know each other. I didn't realize Ghost City was based in Buffalo too. Wow, Buffalo really.
I'm not sure if it's based in there. I think it's connected somehow.
That would make sense. Yeah, do you go back and work on your poems that you feel unfinished, or do you kind of just let them sit and like the next ones?
I let them sit and I never go back to them because I don't think that I'm gonna ever do anything with them.
Yeah, I kind of feel that. I do that too. I don't know.
Maybe I should take more responsibility and
I don't know. Is there a fear factor about it? Because I feel like that's what it is with me, where I don't want to go back and look at them and like see this thing I made and feel scared that it doesn't look how I want it to look, I think.
Yeah, because especially when I'm writing too, I always think I put more onto the page than I actually have, and I go back later and I've lost all those ideas to that other time period.
Definitely. Yeah, I 100% get that.
So maybe if you could go back in time for 7 seconds, you could go back when you had those thoughts.
That's a good call.
Pick them back up.
Yeah, pick them back up, write it down. Yeah.
When you're starting out, what poet inspired you?
A lot of the alt-lit people. Like Sarah Jean, like I definitely looked up to her a lot. I thought she was really cool.
What's your favorite Sarah Jean?
Oh, I don't know. She wrote like vows for a wedding that I thought was really beautiful. I remember reading that and being like, oh wow, that's amazing. And like I've liked a lot of her sillier works. Like she has some poem where like she talks about like the shampoo, like the squirting of the shampoo like a cum shot. And I was like, that's pretty funny. And like the whole vibe of it was like kind of sad, but also funny. Yeah. She does such a good job of mixing like comedy with like very heartfelt.
Yeah,
Yeah, and I
she
appreciate
can
that.
be she can be pretty dark too and subverse. I think too. Like in
Definitely.
her second republishing of Wild Lives, it was
Mm.
pretty wild. Have you ever reached out to her?
I think I've reached out to her maybe once. I used to run a reading series in Brooklyn. I think I probably reached out to her to ask if she wanted to be part of it, but I think she's like out of town or someone. I think she recommended me someone else instead, which was nice of her.
We should let her know that you like that one poem of hers.
Yeah, I should.
She's
You're
really
right.
cool.
Yeah, did you interview her?
No, she hates interviews and will never be interviewed.
Yeah, I could see that. That's cool though. Yeah. I like do you are like Chelsea Minnis I like a lot too. I think about her.
Oh yeah, that book Bad Bad.
Yeah, I like all
That was
that stuff.
awesome because she like subverted the idea of what you could do with
Yeah.
a poem and like what's a good poem versus what's a bad poem.
Yeah, exactly. I love that. I think she's so funny too.
So when
Yeah.
you're in school, you never took like a poetry course that like went over like classic
Not really.
people? Wow.
I studied like studio art and I took a couple creative writing classes. But yeah, we didn't read too much. Like we read poems here and there, but it was never like we read whole collections by people or I don't feel
So
super versed in it.
before I let you go, I do have the question. How did you get into the alt? How did you start meeting the alt lit people? Like
How did I start?
how do you get into that community if you're not like taking classes on poetry and stuff? Were you just like going out like in New York and going out to different places and you picked it up by going out to different places? Like, oh,
Oh,
this is cool.
how did I find out about Outlet? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, like did you go to like a reading first and like, oh, I should get into this stuff?
That's a good question, and the answer is sort of unfortunate. My
Uh-oh.
brother showed me like Steve Rogenbuck videos in college,
Oh,
and
okay.
I was like, okay, I'll follow him. And then I was seeing who was kind of touring with him and what poets were touring with him, so I started following those poets. And I think that's how I started like finding out more about it. Um, yeah, sort of unfortunate, but it led me to some really cool community and people. So mostly really good.
All right. Well, I'll let you go. Thank you for letting me do this. This was cool.
Oh, thanks so much for doing this. I really appreciate it. And I hope you have an absolutely lovely night.
You
And
too.
yeah, thanks, Tyler.
See ya.